And I'm very impressed with Caroline's claim. And I was just curious, Miss Martin, can you tell the people and tell me how long did it take you to come up with the story, the compelling story that you put together?
In short, well, genealogy is never short. It was 30 years of research, on and off, searching libraries, archives, going through paperwork for Uncle Jake, and talking with Bubba, Uncle Danny, Uncle Jake, and various other family members. But it was 30 years of research, on and off, and it took over a year to actually do the book, because once you have the documents, then you have to put it in a story that makes sense for everybody. So it took quite a while to get the book together, at least a year, because once you write a book, then you learn that it has to be formatted. You got to put it together where it makes sense. So I had to get an editor to do that. I didn't have that talent. I just wrote the book. So it's a whole nother thing. And then once you have it compiled and the story makes sense to you, then you have to market it. You have a book, you have a story, but then that's a whole nother ball of wax. It's the marketing of the book.
How long did we mentioned earlier about the oral tradition?
Oh yes.
In Bluffton. Speak about the house that was purchased in the 1800s.
Yeah, so Caroline Martin, in 1858, this is pre-Civil War, purchases a plot of land from George Allen, who was a white minister, also a slave owner here in Bluffton. But she purchases a lot of land for $36. We still have that land today, 167 years later. Of course, the structures that were there when Caroline was alive burned in the 1863 burning of Bluffton, which I'm sure many people are familiar with. Everything in the town was burned except for the Church of the Cross.
And my final question to you, I've heard of the door of no return.
Yes.
Can you speak to that and your own perspective, where it's located and how it fits in?
So I was fortunate enough to be able to go to Senegal last December, and I went to Goree Island, and I was able to walk through the door of no return. And let me say, I have never cried so much. Because you can feel when you set foot on the island, many of the tour guides will tell you, welcome home. So walking around that place, you could feel the ancestors, you could feel the spirit, the wickedness of what Goree Island was all about. To know of the horrendous treatment of your people, and then to understand, they were treated like animals, and then they were not. Let me give you an example. Let's say that they were not, they didn't have enough weight to meet whatever standards they had to be able to go on a ship. They literally would fatten them up with palm oil, like animals, like pigs, until they reached a weight that was sustainable for the long journey across the transatlantic. So when you stand there and you think about it, when you walk through that door and understand that all of my family, all of the things, the culture, the foods, the language everything that makes a person, when you walk through that door, it was no more. That was it. So it was just it was an experience like I've never had at any other museum. And I've been to a lot of historic places, but Goree Island, I encourage everyone to go there and just put yourselves in those people's shoes. It was unbelievable.